And as you instinctively reach on the ground for your weapon, you find that you can't move your arms because you're entangled in thorny vines. And as you look up, you see the witch that you made a pact with carving into your chest. As she notices your eyes blinking open with vines that are covering your mouth, she just says, "Oh, you're awake." And as you feel her hands, her cold hands, kind of gently poking, prodding, and caressing the inside of your chest cavity, you feel that she's planting something. She says, "Things are going to be different when you come back, and you and I are going to do great things together." With that, we'll move to the rest of the party. We'll start with Cass. You've just reached out to Alexi Faraday for assistance, and he's responded via a sending spell. So you are separated from the rest of your group. Is there anything else you are doing right now?
In secret?
Anything you're doing away from the group?
No.
Okay.
I just begin unstrapping the chimes and slowly summoning a instrument from the polyloop and begin walking back to the group.
Okay. In that case, is there anyone else who's doing something away from the group that needs to be separate?
I would like to cast a sending spell to Solinor.
Okay. And are you doing this privately?
Not privately, no.
Okay.
Do I have to? Yeah, oh, I don't want them to like hear me, but I don't mind if they see me casting.
I would say as part of the sending spell, you are speaking out loud. Like your message is the verbal component of the spell.
Okay, so I'll just step away, but I'm not like gonna freeze or anything.
Okay.
And I will cast it and say.
Who's the target of your sending spell?
Solinor.
Okay.
And I will say, Thal, I have a message, a warning, and a request. Please visit me in my dreams tonight.
I'll be there.
Creepy.
Okay.
Smart way to communicate.
Is the rest of the party doing anything? Alara at this point is still kneeled down, kind of next to Varric's body. Alara, you notice that you hear the sounds of cracking bones.
Varric's body.
Yeah. And you watch as
Uh,
the on the front of his chest, the skin begins to grow somewhat transparent and then dry and then begins to almost disintegrate, where there are like flecks of like ash that are um, gently being carried away on the wind. And beneath that, there's this verdant undertone where you begin to see this gaping wound begin to form right over his heart that is almost like the skin overlying has been completely replaced with like this lichen. And as you look deeper, you can see Varric's heart, and it is green and completely like it is made out of some kind of plant-like material.
and this is just openly like, can anybody see? I'd call you guys over. Something's happening.
I hustle all the way over. Oh,
Is
Yeah, I'd call you
that's
guys over to see if you are you guys seeing this?
uh,
Um, as you continue to watch, you watch as there's like this black ink that begins kind of seeping from his eyes, almost like tears, but they don't move uh, in accordance with gravity. They begin kind of carving this pattern on his face that you've seen on other druids of Ruin and Thistle.
the um the tattoos. Is I don't. Should we take him back to the Ruin and Thistle camp? Maybe.
I kneel down and grab his hand that has the original curse mark on it. Is it like grown at all, or is it just still just say like Rune and Thistle?
It looks the same.
Okay. Um, well, I don't know. They'd certainly be able to help him, but I have the chimes in my hand. I reached out to Faraday, and he's possibly on his way here right now to save
I'm sorry.
Ferric. We can't do anything. Alara can't do anything, so um, Vitali, I don't know if you want to hide or cover your face, disguise yourself.
I, I, I empathize with your loss, of course. It's terrible to lose a friend and a boon companion as well. It was a glorious melee. But yes, it would be best if I was not seen by Faraday. Um, I assume that you plan to
As
give.
you're
Oh,
as you're speaking, uh, there is this almost like for a second sour taste in the air, and this just sense of like this energy, like this static electricity. Everyone kind of feels the hair kind of, um, except for Vitality, obviously, like kind of stand up straight.
Scales are
And
itching.
there is this crackle of energy, and about 40 feet away, you see this explosion of lightning that in a flash is gone, kind of leaving that general like static electricity in the air. And you see two figures dressed in kind of modern New Karsus garb. You see the faces of Alexei Faraday and Conrad Grix.
Oh,
Well, in that case, I'm going to use my stealth ability and fade away into the trees.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Okay, and that's d20 plus 13 for my stealth.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
24.
Okay. With that, the voice of Faraday calls out. Didn't expect to see you so soon. As he begins to approach.
I stand up, begin walking towards him. Yeah. Unfortunate circumstances, like you said.
Yes, of course. It is unfortunate that we're making our deal on the brink of this tragedy.
I look at Grix, and he's... Who is he?
If you would recall, the Conrad Grix is the individual who first invited you to the charity ball. He's the Goliath that gave you the invitation. You also saw him battling Alara's brother Lucian, and he fell, and Faraday resurrected him. It just seems like he's like his just kind of his
doesn't
main.
need a bodyguard.
Yeah, he's like his his dude, his goon.
It's a pro.
Okay.
He just says, "You've already met Mr. Grix."
I meant more. Why is he here? But never mind.
Where I go, Grix goes.
I walk back over to the body. Something's happening with him also, besides dying. Not sure if it changes anything for you.
He kind of walks over, kind of inspects the corpse, and then like instinctively he kind of like kneels down and reaches out a hand, and then he like retracts and looks over all of you and just says, "Apologies. Do you mind if I take a look?"
Oh, that's. Please.
Yeah.
You watch as he reaches into like a coat pocket in his chest and pulls out this shard of like green luminescent glass. This kind of beautiful, perfectly shaped crystal. And you watch as he holds it up in the air, he casts a spell, and the crystal just disintegrates and is consumed. His eyes kind of shine blue and go pupilless for a second as he goes, "Ah, interesting. I
But
had not realized your friend fell in with the Circle of Ruin and Thistle. He's locked in a pact with the Queen of Rot. His soul is deeply entangled, and should he come back, he'll be, well, how do I say this? It appears that his pact has deepened. I suspect that there's a clause in the original deal that indicates that something like this will happen if he ever dies.
But he can come back, right?
He can. I just want you to have all the information to make sure you still want him back.
Yes.
Very well. Shall we begin?
Take a few steps back, and I toss the chimes on the ground behind me. I don't know what he has to do to revive him, so I'm just giving him some space.
Okay. You toss the chimes towards him?
Nope.
You toss them like away from him and behind you.
Yeah.
He looks at you and just goes, "No need to treat this like a hostage situation. I know you're good for it."
I'm not going to pretend that you couldn't take those if you really wanted to at any point.
There's no reason that this exchange needs to be anything other than gentlemanly. And with that, he says, "Well, let's get started. Now, to let you know, I am here to honor a deal. And I will do this as many times as we need to force him to come back."
It seemed like when I tried to save him, that Ruin and Thistle had an extremely powerful hold on him, and it was beyond me to even bring him back, even if I wanted to.
That makes sense, and I suspect that if you chose not to resurrect him now, that their clan would do it on their own terms. And that would be a far darker affair. So, for the sake of your friend, it probably is for the best that we bring him back, regardless of whether he wishes to or not. Because one way or another, he would be coming back. That being said, the more times a spell fails, the harder it becomes. Furthermore, I'm concerned that any attempts to bring him back that do fail would also deepen his pact.
If there's anything I can do to help, just say it and say the word.
Well, that's precisely what I'm getting at. You see, I can cast the spell and I can reach out and grip his soul, and I can give the push. But if any of you have anything to perhaps persuade the soul to come back, it can often help in these type of rituals. So,
Understood.
would anyone like to step forward?
I step forward
I
and
don't know. You can cast him.
pull out my loot.
Gosh, you've known him longer than I have.
I'll step forward too. I just vibes, words. I don't know.
At this point, Faraday reaches into a component pouch and just takes literally a handful of diamonds, and you watch as he just like holds his hand out and literally over Varric's body just starts like sprinkling diamonds. Kind of eyeballs it, and then at a certain point stops, drops one more, and then puts the rest back in his pouch.
Rich mother effer.
All right.
Um, he is going to cast a spell on himself. I'd say anyone proficient in Arcana would recognize the runic sigils that appear. He is casting an enhance ability on himself. And this is going to be the what is it? Let's see. He is going to. That's right. So he's going to use Fox's Cunning to give himself advantage on intelligence checks.
And I might cast, if I can, hopefully it helps. I'll cast Bless on me, him. I think there's what, 3 people I can cast it on? Yeah, so
Okay.
me, him, and Cass.
Okay.
I have a question for the DM.
Yep.
How far away are those chimes?
They would actually be pretty close to you.
No, I mean, how far away from them, the group? How far did he throw those?
You tell me, Cass.
Just like 5 feet behind me. So there, if we're all at Varric's body, they're probably 10, 15 feet behind wherever I was.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay. So let's see. All right. So with that, would anyone like to add to the ritual as Faraday begins?
Can the polylute play music on its own, or was that just a property? Okay. Cass begins a sort of funeral dirge on the polylute, and then stops playing as the song continues. And he says, "God, I hope this doesn't make things worse. But Varric, something with your pact is related to the world tree, and this is supposed to be part of it. So if you can hear this music, if you can see its branches, please just follow them back." And I place the still playing instrument onto his chest.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a performance check.
D4. I swear to God, these dice are not broken. It's a natural 20. I swear to God, they used to be so shit. 20, 32 total.
As Cass begins playing, you watch as the area that you were all surrounded in just becomes encased with this music that begins to compound on itself, and there's almost a density to the air, and you watch as in the general space around you, you watch as fallen trees slowly begin to shimmer and shake, pick themselves back up, and you watch as the forest around you begins to restore itself. And you watch as days revert to nights, revert to days, revert to nights. And for a second, the grass kind of soaked in blood that's around Varric and the boulders nearby slowly begin to erode. And beneath, there's this beautiful white marble tile. And looking up, it looks like you're in a temple. Alara, you find yourself back in the Shadowfell right now. And you feel that this is Varric's current resting place. So that's definitely a success on your part. Would anyone else like to contribute? I'll allow for 2 more.
I would. Sadar wants to kneel down by Varric's body and touch him on the shoulder. And I want to imbue him with magic, not necessarily like any formed spell. The closest thing would probably be Gift of Alacrity, as like a sign that we are here on the other side, and to remind him like that his group is here and still needs him, in case he recognizes it.
Go ahead and give me start with an Arcana check.
Oof, that is a 9.
Okay. So you want to cast Gift of Alacrity. So you cast that spell.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that although this spell is obviously not intended to be used on a lifeless body, I imagine Sandara would half expect the spell to fail, but it doesn't. The spell takes hold. You don't know what effect it might have, but the spell takes hold. As the music continues and this kind of gentle golden energy is imbued into Varric's body, the ritual is nearing completion. Is there anyone else that wants to contribute?
I would chime in.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Smoke.
No,
You're good.
I'll allow anyone who wants to contribute. So you guys can both go.
Okay.
You
Samugi's
go
gonna summon his visage of astral self.
Okay.
And attempt to speak to him using Word of the Spirit.
Okay.
What's this?
Yeah, I need to rewind chicken.
Very appropriate.
Sorry, I'm not used to players reading their abilities.
It's just that I can speak
Yeah. Gotcha.
directly too. So unsure if any connection is made between Varric's soul and myself. Samugi just gently reminds Varric that we're all here waiting for him, and that we need him to come back and be a part of our group again.
Okay.
I pretty much covered what I would have told him to stay. His family needs him.
Go ahead and make a wisdom check. Some moogs.
This is a 24.
Okay. With that, Alara, as you're about to step forward, you watch as Samugi steps forward and in this flash of psionic energy, you watch as he's almost encased in this psionic armor with like runes that are kind of floating off his body and interweaving in a way that almost creates like a kind of like a chainmail or something like that. And with this almost like spiritual like theater mask over his face, you watch as he begins speaking to Varric in this way where it's loud and almost hurts your ears, but at the same time you can't quite hear or make out what he's saying. As that happens, you watch as a few black feathers kind of fall from the sky, kind of gently over and near where Varric lays. And at this moment, with Cass performing this melody, and with Samugi compelling Varric, and with Sindara casting her magic. That sensation you got before of being blocked, in this moment you feel closer to the Raven Queen than you've ever felt before. So
Close my eyes and just ask for help. He's part of our family, and we still need him.
okay. Alara, as you're the final one to approach, as the ritual is coming to a close, you close your eyes near Varric and whisper your silent prayer. And there is an arcane sheen that appears around you and Varric as those diamonds that have been kind of carelessly sprinkled around the ritual site all glow white and begin to disintegrate. And as you whisper that prayer, you hear the Raven Queen herself in your head, the way that she whispered to you when you were lost and running away from your adopted father all those years ago. I'd say it probably hasn't been since then that you've heard her voice so clearly. And she responds with, "If you feel that his time has been cut short, I trust your judgment." So, with that, Varric, you are still in that place where you can't move, you're in excruciating pain, and crouching over you is Milana the Witch. Yet, in this darkness, there begins to shine this light as you faintly hear the sound of music. Vaguely, you can see these shadowy shapes that are all surrounding you. And one a little bit more clear than the others, you see Alara speaking on your behalf. I'd At some point, you watch as Milana's face kind of changes as she senses that someone else is there. And you see an additional figure appear. It appears to be a Goliath in black armor, with raven feathers that are kind of peeking out of the junctions between the plates. And you hear a voice that sounds somewhat familiar, but unfamiliar at the same time, as it commands, "Release him." And as Milana turns, she stands up, and he waves his hand and just says, "You forget where you are, witch." And there's this bright white energy, and for a second you watch as her beautiful and young face is immediately revealed as this old, decrepit green hag, and with just the wave of the hand, she's abjured and vanishes.
Yep.
You're released from the vines, Varric, and this hand that looks like your own, it almost looks like this is a weird, dreamlike version of yourself, reaches out a hand to pick you up.
I'll grab it.
As you do, you hear this faint voice in your head, and you hear the voice of Samugi commanding you. That just says, "We are all here waiting for you, Varric. We need you to come back." As this hand pulls you up, you look at this individual, this champion of the Raven Queen. And for a second, you think this is a dreamlike version of you, but the face is ever so slightly different. And you see as he looks at you with this sense of relief, and also there's kind of a sense of sorrow in his eyes.
Who are you?
He says, "I think it's time that you start to walk a different path, Dad."
Atlas?
He nods.
You're a man. But you died.
Time
Haven't you?
works differently in the Shadowfell. The Raven Queen took me in.
She raised you?
She guided me. You're being called back,
I heard
and
Samugi.
I made it a point to find you.
How did you banish that witch?
She made the mistake of attempting to take a soul that was laying on hallowed ground. And you watch as he looks up, and as you look around, you are in a white marble temple right now. And you realize that the place that Alara banished you was the temple of the Raven Queen.
Is there still a hole in my chest?
There is.
Can I see inside of it?
You can't really quite crank your neck enough to see inside of it, but you can kind of like feel, and you feel like a slow heartbeat that is, this strange, hard, like thistly heart.
What path should I follow?
He says, take an oath to protect those who can't protect themselves. Channel this need for vengeance into something noble and something with purpose. Join me and follow my queen.
Okay. You know, I only did this for your mother. And did you know you have a younger sister?
He looks down and looks back up and just says, I'm sorry I left you. And I'm sorry that you lost your way as much as you did.
I grab him by like the back of the neck and pull his head to mine.
He kind of headbutts you.
I tell him, never apologize for that. It's not your fault.
He says, I know, but Sarah and Natasha need the man who you were, not the one who you've become.
I understand.
So you understand what I tell you when I say that we need you to come back.
Yes. I'll take this oath.
You watch as he kind of like holds his hand out. And you watch as this very large curved greatsword appears in his hand. And he takes one step back and like points the blade towards you in a gesture. It's like he's going to knight you right now.
I take a knee.
Okay. He places a blade on your shoulder.
Wait.
And then the other one.
Will I see you again?
Goodbye, Dad. And with that, you watch as your vision begins to darken, and there is this kind of blur and violent shake, and you feel something grasp you, and you are ripped from this place, and you shoot up awake out of this place, and you are surrounded by your friends who are just watching you. Everyone sees Varric shoot back up.
I would almost tackle you with a hug at this point. I'm so sorry. So glad you're back with us. I didn't mean to be so mad at you. But we lost you.
Is Cass here?
I walk away and grab the chimes and walk back.
Mike, give me a
Oh no.
stealth check.
Oh no.
Just as a note, PvP is a common thing in this table.
18.
18. As you make a move for the chimes, this is tricky because while people are a little distracted, the chimes are out in the open.
Right.
So as you begin to creep towards them, everyone is very caught up in the middle of the ritual. You grab the chimes and kind of slink back into the forest where you were hiding. And
Waiting any moment.
waiting for you there is Conrad Griggs.
Oh.
Do I recognize Conrad?
You do. This is Faraday's, basically his right-hand man. You haven't interacted with him, but you know his name and you know his face.
Conrad, how good to see you, my good friend.
Vitali,
How have you been?
you keep interesting company.
Well, I only recently met these people, but they are fine fighters, I can tell you that.
He holds out his hand.
I hand him the chimes.
Smart.
The prince thanks you for assisting in procuring this artifact, Vitali.
Well, we are all treasure hunters, are we not?
He turns and begins to walk away. As he is about to enter the brush and kind of like go back into the clearing that he was in before, he stops and just turns and says, "If I were you, I'd watch my step, Vitali." And then the second part he says in Drakmiri, he says, "Accidents have been happening to people involved with these artifacts, as you are well aware. Perhaps you should seek other treasure." And he exits the clearing.
Damn.
I continue breathing.
So Cass, as you turn and go for the chimes, they're gone. And you watch as Conrad steps out of the clearing and approaches Alexei and hands him the chimes and whispers something in his ear. And Alexei just smiles and says, "Ah, I didn't realize you've joined with Vitali."
Makes sense. Suppose we were quick to trust.
We
just
don't know
knew
that man.
what we say at the same time.
Interesting. Well, send him my best regards. Now, we did make a deal. So, as a man of my word, I will honor my end of the arrangement. Won't you come with me, Cass?
Very confused, Cass follows, but he does. Yeah, I'm trying to be professional now, but I'm confused.
Cassius, you look confused. What?
No, I was trying not to look confused.
Oh, you're trying not to?
Yeah.
Give me a performance check.
Oh, yikes. 12. Or,
12.
wait, hold on, maybe? 15.
He looks at you and says, "What seems to be the matter?"
Well, you got the chimes. I swear I didn't know Vitali was going to do something like that? And you resurrected Varric.
When we spoke, I told you I'd honor our original agreement in addition to bringing your friend back. The resurrection spell was child's play, really. For such an artifact, I wouldn't feel right as a businessman taking that agreement. So I'm willing to honor the first.
Right. Well, you are more a man of honor than I expected, to be honest.
I take that as a compliment. He turns and kind of like gestures you to step forward, and he's just pointing at like an open clearing. And you watch as he kind of grabs the chimes, and then his eyes flash with this arcane energy, and he's going to cast a gate spell back into his tower.
Cass, do you need us, or are you okay?
I reach out my hand and summon the polyloop back to me. Just fulfilling the rest of our deal. I'll be fine.
Okay. You step into the Chamber of Dreamers. And he says, as promised, an artifact for an artifact.
There's only one choice here. And I go to the one that I dreamed about.
Okay. You walk forward, and there's like this force cage around it, and as you step towards it, it goes down.
As I walk, I'm just like looking at the gun, looking back at Faraday, continue to walk, look back at him, like
Nods.
this seems this seems appropriate. I reach out and grab it.
Okay. So you reach out and grab this like alien-looking, twisted hand cannon. As you hold it, there's something inert about the weapon. Like you feel like in another world this was an extremely powerful artifact, and you feel like it's asleep. Yet, despite the lack of obvious exuding arcane energy coming out of it, as you touch it, you do feel like there's something there. Perhaps something Faraday doesn't know about.
I shove it into one of the pockets of my coat. Alexei, if I may call you that, I'm going to. You know, when I was imprisoned, you were somebody that we originally, I think, were going to set out to kill. Someone who had wronged a friend of ours. And now it seems you're trying to do something really just in the world. But you also have a lot of power. So just coming from someone who probably doesn't matter, someone who's had their world turned upside down by a man with a lot of power, please just do the right thing with this inevitable. For everyone on this island.
He looks at you and says, I know you must think that I'm some debutante who had everything handed to him. But just so you know, I too was someone who had everything taken from me, and was wronged by a man with a lot of power. I had nothing, and I was and I admit, I've had to do things that deviated from my moral code to survive. Things that still keep me up at night. But now that I have survived, I very much am trying to do what I think is best. And I would just caution you that not everyone is trustworthy. And he kind of like turns his head and kind of looks over the rest of your group. And just says, trust is a very valuable commodity, and I would be very careful with whom I invest it. With that, you watch as Conrad steps through the gate into the Chamber of Dreamers.
That's cool. I didn't realize it was just an open portal. Right. I trust most of them. Thank you again. And I begin walking towards the gate.
Okay. There's just silence. You exit?
Yep.
It closes right behind you. And you turn, and there's just open plains, and Karsus falling in the distance.
Walk to the group. Glad to have you back, Varric.
Am I still on the ground?
No, you could be up if you want.
I'd like to. Is there a tree around here?
Yeah.
I'd like to be sitting, leaning against it for a minute.
Yeah. You are at 1 hit point and very exhausted from dying.
I am going to gesture for Cass to come here.
I'll kneel beside him.
I grab him by the collar and put his ear directly to my mouth. And I say, I saw them. My boy. I heard your song. Did you call Faraday?
Yeah. It's the only way I knew how to bring you back.
What was the price?
Doesn't matter.
What?
Doesn't matter.
What's the price?
Glad you got to see your son again.
Thank you.
Alara, can you
Yeah,
at least try to
I'll
close this
write-
wound?
Yeah, is there still a
Absolutely.
gaping hole in my chest?
Yeah, there's I mean, it's not a huge hole. It's like a wound that is gaping. It's like less than an inch, but you can just faintly see inside of it.
I do my channel divinity, so you get up to 45 hit points as long as it doesn't put you over half.
Yeah, 40. Well,
And
no,
then,
that actually might put me over half now.
okay. And then I would action cast Beacon of Hope. As you see these large black wings grow out of my back, And then I would cast, because everybody's still hurt, right?
F
Yeah,
up.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah, okay. And I will action cast Mass Healing Word, so you all automatically regain 19 hit points.
Cool.
Now, if I need to do it again, I can.
I'm good enough. And I only took 41 of your 41.
Okay.
points.
And if someone else
Will
wants to
Vitali
try, you can
also
do that.
benefit from that?
Yes.
Smoogie,
Varric?
I heard you clearly.
I was
Everyone else
hoping that
was
you would.
distant. How did you do that?
I looked deep within my astral self and I spoke to you in another realm. I wasn't sure if you were going to hear me or not, but you did, and you're back.
Sounded like you were right next to me.
I'm glad you heard me.
Alara, were you there?
Yes, I was the one that took us there for safety.
No. Afterwards.
Where was that?
Did you see my boy?
That was your son?
Yes. I'll
Yeah.
run up if he is.
Yeah, it appears he followed the Raven Queen as well.
Do I still have that cement arm or the stone armor on?
Yeah.
I start taking it off.
Okay.
Slowly.
It's interesting. It's like separate pieces of like stone and almost like this thick clay that you have to remove kind of piece by piece. And as you just like pull stones that are just like encasing you and throw them on the ground, they kind of just like reform into a solid slab on the ground.
I look to
Markings that were appearing on his face, are those still there?
They've receded.
before you close the wound. Did my heart look different, or was it still plant-like?
The wound is not closed,
Oh, cool.
and it is still plant-like.
Not as cool. I look to Sundara. Do you have the bag?
I've been down next to him, of course, and I open it up.
Do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Take my old armor out of there.
Start pulling out his old armor.
Super heavy.
It's very heavy.
Once I get de-armored, I'm gonna attempt to stand up.
Before you stand up, I look to you and I say, "Do you remember what I said to you at Faraday's party?"
No.
I said that I didn't want to see you die again, and I try and punch him as hard as I can. Which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take damage from.
Your -1
Go
strength.
ahead and make a strength-based attack roll.
At least you waited until after he took the armor.
And
Yeah.
well, and until he was healed a little bit. I have
That would be
no
great.
strength, so I don't know how to even do that.
So
That's
you add your proficiency.
what proficiency?
You add a 4 to that.
Oh, okay. That's That's a 9.
Yeah. So,
I mean, even armored, that
yeah,
doesn't.
you punch Varric in the chest as hard as you can. Or is that where you're aiming? Where are you aiming?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, man, go
Yeah, it doesn't do any damage, but
for
you
Don't
you-
break my own hand.
yeah, you don't. Yeah,
Can I go? Is Vitali still hiding away?
No, I emerge.
Okay. I walk over to you.
Punch him now.
I'm gonna.
Wait, Sandara. Did we
I just
get-
give Cassius a calm, level gaze.
I'm gonna pretend, for the sake of the situation we're in right now, that you didn't try to just steal those chimes. I understand your position. Tried to hide you. But don't try to backstab us like that again. There's a lot more of us than there is you.
Please understand. I was not attempting to backstab you. I waited until your friend was revived before I made my move. My intention is only to keep these relics out of the hands of Faraday. You all seem like fine people. I enjoyed the fight that we had. That was my only intention.
Again, I get it. I thought about doing it too. But don't do it again, please.
Of course. By again, I assume that means you're not going to kill me.
No,
I
that
do
would
appreciate
probably
it.
be harder than I think it would be. And you're useful.
Well, thank you. Actually, that is something I wanted to speak with you all about. I have information regarding where the locations of the other relics, or at
Really?
least where Faraday's spies thought that they were.
I
Okay.
definitely want to look into them.
We know one is in Langston, and I think that's where we were going next.
And Langston is my home base, so I would love
Makes
to invite
sense.
you all to stay in my home and explore the city.
Well, are we gonna go to New Callum first? Sandara, I assume you don't have the capability to teleport us there anymore.
I could make it work.
We could.
Do we want to loot the dragon before we leave?
Forgot
Since
about
that's what this whole thing was about. Just walk off.
Damn dragons usually have hordes.
Yes, they do.
He does
And
have
we know
a.
which direction he came from.
It's the house that we saw, the barn.
So maybe
thing.
maybe we take what we can off the dragon, and then see what kind of treasures he's acquired.
I'd like
Sandara,
to
did
go over to the dragon
I.
and put my hands on its head, that even though its jaw is like ripped out, and apologize for how this turned out.
gay?
That
Either way,
dragon.
man.
Sorry, what were you saying, James?
I'm sorry. I wasn't there to protect you this time.
Okay. I think I need to learn to start protecting myself and to protect others, so you better not die again.
Well, if it's any consolation, I wasn't really planning on it.
Were you planning on it the first time?
I mean, I
Is it
entered it.
50-50? Okay,
meant-
so like a
I-
50-50.
I mean, I
one
entered
for two
into
type of situation.
a duel to the death. I assumed it was possible. I just thought I could wrangle this dragon a little easier.
You're gonna turn my hair gray before I'm in my 400s.
Well, I've lost all mine, so it's only fair. Oh, is there something we could do about this?
He's got
Hold him like that?
The whole thing it's just a standard now, dude.
Is this like permanent? No one asked Faraday.
I think that's called
Is this
a
part of the ritual?
consequence to your actions.
I mean, we asked Faraday for a lot, and
I mean,
like I don't.
did he have to cut me open?
That was all your weird vibes. Actually, he didn't do that.
Cool.
That was
Cool.
happening already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I started to put my old armor back on.
Do you want
Okay.
me to put this giant piece of rock in the bag?
No, leave it here. Fuck
Okay.
that shit.
Can I empty out my water skin? Because skinning this dragon, I'm just like, we came here to get dragon parts, but I'm totally not about that right now. Can I just empty my water skin and like open a vein, get some dragon
Oh,
blood?
so try to give me a investigation or nature check, I would say, or survival.
11.
I got an assistant.
Alar's gonna assist you if you want to roll with advantage.
Yep.
That does help. 19.
Shall I go hunt down the dragon's horde?
No,
Don't
specifically.
split the body.
Okay. So as you are inspecting the dragon, as you go to just carelessly like all right, let's just get some dragon blood and move on. You stop in your tracks because there's something very strange about this dragon. You see there are green crystals that are coming out of it almost like an exoskeleton, or like the way that like a dire wolf has bones that come out of its body. In that same way, there are these green crystals that are doing the same, that you know are not natural.
Is that gay?
Okay. Yeah, no. Well, maybe a little bit of time. Okay, I imagine like filling a water skin of blood would be pretty quick. So like Cassius tries to do that, and then maybe just works on like cutting out just like one thing, like calling over to who would be good at this.
This might be creepy to try to help with that, but I was going to use, if you need help cutting into this thing, Primal Savagery gives me like acid fingers. Kind of
yeah,
I would think
Alara,
maybe you carve pieces out.
you know how to use every part of the pig or whatever. Help me with this.
Okay. What is it?
Alara, you just give me a spell attack.
Okay. Ooh, nice start. 23.
After a
Or
while,
24.
you can work this dragon like down to the spine, and these crystals are protruding from the spine.
Shit.
They are fused. You get the sense that cutting is not going to do you any good here. Like these can maybe be broken off, but you don't know how brittle this is, so it'd be kind of difficult to collect the shards possibly. But there's a lot of it. It's a big dragon.
Well, if things need to be broken, I've reached down and pick up my hammer. It's one thing I could do. I'd like to try and break one of these crystals.
Try to be gentle with it.
Okay, give me a unskilled strength check.
$23.
Okay. So you kind of make your way through. The first couple ones are a little more messy, but as you get the hang of kind of where to swing, um, you break off a bunch of these spines. Um, yeah, so you have this large quantity of this green glass. In fact, I would say you might be getting to the point where your bag of holding might not quite be cutting it.
Well, I'm gonna take like 5 for myself.
Okay, I mean these shards are like 20 pounds each, and they're
Oh my god.
like at the largest they're like 4 feet by 2 feet.
Okay, I'll
Holy
take 2.
fuck.
Oh my gosh, that's like bigger than Samui.
Yeah, these are like samugi sized spines.
Well, can
I'll
we?
take 2. I just want them.
Can we take? Can we fit 2 into the bag of holding?
I'm gonna say I'll roll a luck check here. So I'm gonna say you've got 12 spines.
Is this the same crystal that they used for the ritual?
The green crystal. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Very astute, Samugi. It appears to be the same crystal.
Shit.
How big was his crystal that he used?
Tiny.
Tiny?
Oh. Proposition.
Empty out the bag.
I took 2.
I
Is that
could
okay?
try to, if we waited a long rest, which is a long time, enlarge, reduce. Shrink it down.
Good idea.
How long does that last?
I have no clue. I've never cast it before. 1 second.
I don't know how that works in
They
the
just
bag.
explode back in normal.
It only lasts a minute, but I could extend it. I can do extended spell.
How long does extended spell last?
I mean, I can make it last about an hour.
I mean, what's the plan with them anyways?
I have no idea.
What are these exactly?
Something
Green
strange
crystals?
that shouldn't be there.
Would they be valuable?
Probably. I mean, it's kind of the main reason I'm taking them.
All right, let's just throw one in the bag. We don't know what else is
Well,
in
we
the
got-
house
we got
either,
12,
so.
right?
You can fit 10 in the bag.
Hmm.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
I rolled a
That's sweet.
d12 to see how many you guys could fit, and
Hell yeah.
10.
How many did we have total?
We got 10 crystals. Or I guess you have 2 if you're carrying 2.
Yeah, I
So-
was thinking about carry 2.
Cool. I mean, that's all the harvesting I want to do from that thing.
No scales or teeth or claws.
I mean, Cass isn't the only one with the ability to harvest things.
I'm not even good at it.
I don't even.
Actually,
No.
then in that case, I would like to take a tooth from the dragon.
Okay.
Just
Roll
the
a
one. I
dentistry
don't
check.
need many of them. What was that?
Roll a dentistry check.
What is that?
I'm gonna say
Kind of
with enough,
medicine? I'm
with
sorry.
enough time, pulling a tooth from the dragon is you're gonna be able to do. You have to kind of do some cutting, But you can do it.
Thank you.
And you can add a dragon tooth charm to your inventory.
Oh. Just a straight
Is
up charm.
is this? Are we doing a survival check for this?
If you want to pull like a bunch of dragon teeth out, then I'll ask for a survival check. If you're just pulling one out, then you can just take one.
Well, I'm gonna get to harvesting. I got a knife.
What are you trying to harvest?
Is there anything that Samugi knows is valuable to him, or is this just monetary?
This would be an alchemy check. Is anyone proficient with alchemist tools? Well, actually, Smoothie, you are.
I am. Yeah.
So give me a D20 intelligence proficiency.
Intelligence proficiency? What do you mean by that?
Intelligence and proficiency.
Yeah, your intelligence score. So D20 plus your intelligence score plus your plus 4, which is your proficiency
Okay.
bonus.
Roll a 7, 11, 12.
12.
Bullshit.
So you don't know what for. You know that somewhere between like the throat and chest, there's some kind of poison gland that, if extracted improperly, is potentially deadly, and also ruins the gland itself. You know that the eyes have been used for potions. You don't know what kind of potions. You know that the teeth themselves have like minorly magical properties. And then the scales, armorers and like leather workers use those for armor. So do you want to just kind of get a mix mash of like whatever you can easily get your hands on quickly?
Yeah, I think so. Is that based on my
That'd be a survival check.
my survival check? Okay. I will get to harvesting. I don't know that I would be too interested in the scales. Could I do everything? Do we have time?
If you want to focus on a specific part more than others, then I can like.
I kind of want the eyes and the poison gland.
Okay. I'll have you roll separately for the poison gland. So go ahead and roll for just a general survival check, and we'll say you can get some teeth and the eyes for this.
Okay, 24 for the general survival check.
Okay. 1 second.
Smoogie,
Varric.
can I get one of them teeth?
Smoogie hands. How many teeth did I harvest?
You got 11.
Damn.
Smoogie hands over. How many do you want?
Just one.
I got most of them. Okay, he gives him one.
Looks cool.
Jesus, Smokey, you're really elbow deep in that thing.
Looks like some movies inside the dragon.
Remember, there's a rhythm and a tempo to cutting. I don't know. Good luck. I'm gonna inspire him.
You just hear like out of the hollow of the dragon carcass. Thank you, dear friend.
Whatever you do, don't hit the poisonous gland.
I'll try my best.
Okay, you got the eyes too, so now roll for the poison gland.
Do I do this at advantage?
Can
Nope.
I assist?
The
Somebody?
inspiration. Gives
Well, you
a
have
D8.
inspiration.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Varric,
asking.
how are you assisting?
Well, how does I don't know.
I'll say at this point, Samugi is taking an approach where he's literally inside the dragon's like throat right now,
Oh, you're on your own.
like kind of cramped in this tiny space.
Have fun.
I'd say Varric, if you wanted to help, what you could do is, much like Atlas raises the world, you could like grab a tooth on one end, reach into like the soft palate on the other while you're stepping inside the dragon's mouth, and like lift it up so that Smoogy's got more room to work.
Cool.
Yeah, what I pictured.
I could do that.
Okay. So give me a strength check. The DC is 20, with a lesser DC of 15.
Cool. Exactly 20.
Okay.
Nice.
So Samugi, you have advantage.
Very nice.
And does the inspiration do anything also?
Yep. You get a D8.
That
Ooh,
explodes.
oh, natty. D8.
Wait, the D8 exploded?
What does that mean? I just rolled a natural 20 on my first D20 roll.
Okay.
Do I
You don't even need help. You're fine.
Probably.
I mean,
do I need to keep rolling or?
You can roll your d8. It doesn't go away if it fails, but it's probably not. But like,
yeah,
I don't know if we're doing anything in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
D8, I rolled a 5.
I'll tell you what. This is kind of a binary situation. So I'm going to give you back your D8. Keep
Okay.
the inspiration. I don't want it.
Keep your D8.
Yeah, you perfectly extract this poison gland. Or not. In fact, it's not quite the gland itself. You actually basically separate this little like poison-filled bladder from like the like excretory organ. So you come out with this like very jelly, like very tenuously like it's like a water balloon filled with green dragon poison. This is, you can tell by how damaging the poison was, and how relative this is probably about the size of like a beach ball. So it's probably
Holy
about the size of you, Samugi. That being said, you get the sense that this is extraordinarily concentrated, given how devastating the dragon's poison was. Like, this thing was literally, like, destroying the forest. So, and the membrane that holds this fluid is very thin.
Oh god.
So this is like, this is very fucking dangerous, like what you're doing right now.
So Samugi kind of comes out of the corpse of the body holding like this beach ball sized death sack of poison.
And again, remember, it's like, it's not, you can't hold it like a beach ball because like your hands go into it, and then it's like a, it's
It's
the
like
membrane
holding
is
a bomb.
yeah, the membrane is so thin that you almost have to like roll it out, and you got to be very careful not to have the teeth puncture this thing on your way out. So I'm actually going to ask for a dexterity check to remove it from the dragon at this point.
Can I use my inspiration on this?
You can if you like. I'm going to say you have advantage because Varric is holding it open, and I'll say the DC. I'll tell you what, the DC for this is going to be 13 because you've removed most of the teeth.
Can I help with Mage Hand?
Yeah. So you have advantage here.
Can I run up to the top of a nearby tree?
Good call.
Oh, I rolled a 13 plus 3, so I got a 16.
Okay. So you very carefully, there's like this moment where Samugi, you're like face to face with Varric as he's holding this thing open. Sandara's like lifting up some of the bulging parts from the bottom, and there's this point where like Samugi is just like looking dead in your eyes, Varric, like with complete focus as he slowly heaves this thing out of the dragon's mouth at like a snail's pace. And you just see complete focus and concentration in this stoic, elderly Hangul gnome, and you just see a single bead of sweat slowly drip down his face as he's just staring at you like completely stoic.
Like slow motion Tai Chi style.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. You probably are going to have to package this thing up somehow. Whether you want to try to... So I'll give you the choice of whether you want to try to pierce the membrane and extract the poison. Or if this thing's going to be hard to travel with.
Crowd surfing, any ideas here?
From the top of the tree, you hear me say, you might roll it down to a low area and pierce it.
What if you make a bag out of the dragon's stomach lining? It's probably the only thing big enough, I imagine, that we have that could maybe protect it.
I think we would still have to travel carefully with it. What,
We can teleport.
I was gonna say, if you,
I'm gonna yell
if
to
we want
Vital.
to,
Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead. I was just gonna say, I was gonna yell to Vitali, what is the purpose you're suggesting with rolling it down to a lower location?
Because when it bursts open, it will fill that lower location. We have to not be in it. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean?
it's gonna be a very large area.
But whoever were to extract it would still be in like the immediate proximity of it, so would still be at risk. No.
Well, I apologize. I only mean when you are attempting to the extraction, putting it on a low point would make sure that it doesn't like splash out on everyone.
I see.
If you burst it, I mean.
I was gonna say, since this is an organic material, would if they were trying to like puncture it to extract it, would something like Cure Wounds kind of keep it from like bursting entirely?
Interesting. Possibly. So Samugi, I'll tell you this: the problem with the it's not like this is like an explosive, like liquid or anything like that. The problem is, and you know this based on your very good alchemy check, it's extremely volatile. So the second it's introduced to the atmosphere, it's going to naturally want to turn into a gas. So if you violate the membrane and it's exposed to the atmosphere, there's a good chance that all this liquid turns into gas immediately, which would cause an explosion of poison that would kill everybody.
Okay. We should seal it, I think.
So if you could, the trick here is in kind of like a post-Renaissance technology era of like getting this volatile fluid into a sealed container that can travel without exposing it to the atmosphere.
We need some kind of needle to extract it.
Do we
Say
have
we leave it.
containers?
It honestly seems like too much of a hassle. It'd be an epic thing to have, but I don't think we have the tools necessary to extract that right now. Or
You do have
even
an alchemy kit. I won't make you like physically come up with like an organic chemistry project of how you're gonna do this. But you can kind of jimmy rig some tools to do this.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And I can maybe like freeze some water to create other tools if we don't have them. Like maybe a hollow, little pointy thing.
Okay.
Some shape water.
So what's our? Okay. I'm going to
Let's
attempt
do
to
it.
extract
Let's do
poison.
it. I'm with you, Samugi.
Yep.
Let's go.
I'll do Cure Wounds on the membrane to see if I can assist in like holding it together and keep it from popping.
Okay.
Alara, I feel like you should cure
You know
wounds
what?
us when this blows up.
I feel like this is literally more like there's more engagement in this than the ritual to save Varric. Let's do this. Anyone who wants to contribute,
I thought this would be
can
survival check.
contribute. Yeah, that's fine. So
In and out.
So Alara, give me a wisdom check. Sorry, spellcasting ability check.
Spellcasting ability. So I'd add a spell attack to it.
Yep.
25.
25. Okay. That's going to be a D8 to the check.
Okay.
Sundara, you wanted to contribute. What are you doing?
I'm either creating tools with shape water or like creating a globe around the ball of poison out of ice. Oh yeah,
Okay.
that'll also keep it from turning into a gas. I mean, in my head, chemistry, that's how it works, but I don't know.
Okay.
Varric
So
used
you're trying to seal it. You're trying to create. It sounds like you're trying to create like a bowl of ice.
Yeah.
That you're gonna seal from top and bottom, and then you're going to like get in there and extract it.
It'll
Okay.
be a globe of ice with one extraction point.
So you're creating like a hermetically sealed chamber
Like
here.
a flask.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a. This is. I mean, it does make a little bit of
Water,
sense
man.
for a clockwork sorcerer here. Give me a spellcasting ability check.
Cool. Yeah, that's a 14.
14. Okay. So with a 14, you create an area to stabilize it. Unsure how it's gonna affect the problem is when you try to go to create like the top part to seal it, you fear that it's just gonna crush the membrane entirely. So you just create this little area to stabilize it. It helps a little bit. So I'm gonna say that reduces the DC by 1.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else, or Samugi, you ready to do this?
I'm gonna run down the tree real quick.
Mhm.
Walk over, pat Samugi on the shoulder, give him a thumbs up, say good luck, and cast bless on him.
Okay.
And then get back about 100 feet.
Okay.
I will go with Vitaly too far away.
Okay.
Died once today.
I'd stand
So-
back.
Hit my
So, if the nuke goes off, Samugi, you will add a D4 to your Constitution saving throw.
The thumbs up is very important, by the way.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Am I rolling at advantage
I'm gonna
here?
say
Or...
because you had people help you, you can roll at advantage.
Okay, and this is a survival check?
This is an alchemy check.
Alchemy. Oh, shit. Alchemy. Why is this not on my list?
It's not a real thing.
What do I use?
It's intelligence and proficiency. So.
Oh, okay. Intelligence.
And I'll say the DC to prevent an explosion is going to be 24.
Oh, fuck.
But you have advantage and a D8, right?
And a D8. Yeah.
And it's yeah, okay. Is anyone still standing around? Like
I
other
am.
I'm
Okay.
backing up.
Yeah, Smoogy's gonna like
I'm just
nervously
locked
turn
in.
around, like smiling with his eyes kind of nervously and motion for everyone to back up.
Here we
Okay.
From
go.
100 feet away, I'm just like waving.
Oh my god, I rolled a natural 20. I don't believe it.
Oh yeah! Holy
Good shit.
shit!
Good shit.
God damn it! All
I
right,
was
Samugi,
100%
you
ready to
realize,
absorb
like,
elements that.
you have hit like 3 high DC checks to do this one task.
I had no idea this would entail so many checks, or I probably would have not done it. But
I mean, it's a green dragon that like kills things with poison breath, and you're taking all of its poison out of it, and you get all of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, God,
I feel like
I'm
I should
gonna
not
say,
be dancing to death right now, right after this died, but you know.
yeah. So you have 3 liters of dragon poison.
We about
Holy
to
shit.
poison everybody.
I mean, it's
Or just
highly
fucking
concentrated. You could make poison bombs with this. You could. It'd be trickier to try to like make. And a good alchemist could maybe make like weapon coats with this, but that would also be a dangerous and tricky endeavor because it's so volatile. So this would really be more suited for like making like poison bombs.
That's cool as fuck. I forgot you can make bombs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I didn't
shit.
expect that to take so long. Sorry. So you guys have a large quantity of the green crystals, and you have 3 liters of dragon poison, a variety
Hell
of
yeah.
teeth, and then 2 dragon eyes.
All right.
What are you doing?
Into the house.
Going to the horde. Let's get
Okay.
or
Yeah.
I mean, at least see if
Before
he doesn't have more
before we go into there, I'd like to make sure who's badly hurt. I'd like to cover our asses before we get in there, just in case.
shit. I'm at full health.
Sundara looks like she is halfway to her best.
Okay.
Vitaly has a few scratches, and that's it.
Okay.
Although he
I
has his armor does show some signs of wear.
Okay.
Most
Well,
hurt.
I will do. I'm gonna cast 2nd level healing word. Give you guys all a little more. Oh, actually, no. Wait, that's right. I can't do. I'm out of mass healing word. I think. Wait, nope. I've got 1 use left. Okay. So this will be a D4 plus 10 for everybody. Nice. Max 14.
Thanks.
Everybody regains 14 more hit points. Hopefully that helps and keeps us all alive.
To the house.
Alright. Yep.
Try not to die.
I'll turn on death or detect magic as we approach.
Okay. So as you enter the, as you see this huge wooden lodge, it appears that the roof is caved in, and it looks like that's where the dragon had been coming and going. There is a door on the side.
How did, just a real quick clarification, how does one roll for checking for traps?
I'd make an investigation check.
Okay. So when the opportunity arises, I'm gonna start making scanning for traps.
Okay, go. Well, Cass is like about to put his hand on the doorknob right now, so I'd say now is probably the time.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you watch as like
Could be mundane, I suppose.
Vitaly just kind of hip checks you out of the way and just like holds his hand out like everyone back the fuck up away from this door.
Okay, so that's 21.
This is by far the most trapped door you've ever seen. You count 6 traps on the door.
Holy shit.
I just back up a little, very slowly from the door. Are there any other ways in?
I can just open the door from 30 feet away if you would like.
That might not be enough, but I'm willing to take you up on the offer.
Well, you don't have to stand 30 feet away. I will stand 30 feet away.
Right. Let's do that. So I'm gonna back up away from the door.
We've also
Same here.
we've got that levitation potion.
And I've got my broom of flying. I can fly in through the roof.
I stand in front
That
of
is
some.
an option.
All right, yeah. Well, I'm gonna stand behind a tree. Let's just. Oh, but what if it explodes? What if it blows up shit inside the inn?
Right? It blows up the whole place.
Vitaly, what type of trap was it? Could you tell?
Could I tell that with my roll?
Yeah, so there are 5 glyphs of warding.
Holy fuck. It's a big bang.
I would say you've dealt with a lot of traps before. You don't get the sense that any of these traps would like blow up. It's not like the place is rigged to blow, and it wouldn't make much sense for a dragon to have a trap that like
Blows
like
up
if
his
anything
own horde.
tries to steal my shit, I'm just gonna blow it all up. Like it really more seems like someone trapped this door to be like when something tries to enter, we're just gonna kill it dead.
And the glyphs of warding, what do they do exactly?
Are you proficient in Arcana?
And I don't think so. No.
I'd say with that investigation check, you're not sure exactly what the glyphs do, but you've seen enough of them that you know that these are like killy glyphs.
Killing.
Having flashbacks to a mechanical man, I decide to leave the glyphs to the magic people and back away.
All right, are we all
But
in
I
position?
do tell them what they are, what my impressions of them are.
Dealt with glyphs before. We can do this. Are we? Is everybody ready? James, where did you say
Yep.
you were standing?
Major movie.
In front of you in case it explodes.
Oh, okay. Well, now I feel bad.
Well,
Okay.
suck it up.
I'll mage hand the door open.
I'm hiding behind a tree. I see
Okay.
Varric. No, I see Varric. I go to move him.
Okay. As you try to mage the door open, it is locked.
Well, I'm not
Beaten by
gonna.
modern technology.
Oh, can I use the hand to thieves' tool?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
Um. Let me check something. So yeah. So give me a spellcasting ability check at disadvantage.
Boo. Okay.
It's very difficult to manipulate this, but also you're at 30 feet away.
Yeah.
There's a whole rogue subclass dedicated to this exact task.
Didn't know that. That is an 11.
Perfect. So as you are like kind of clumsily like poking with your thieves tools, after a couple minutes you finally get it in, and then you just start like being like, hey, I don't have any like haptic feedback here, so like I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
fucking. So you start just being like, well, all I'm trying to do is trigger the mechanism. So you just start like jamming it around in there. And eventually there is this technicolor array of poison, necrotic damage, like a cold blast, basically everything except for fire. And you watch as there's this huge cloud of like poison and smoke. You guys are out of the radius. The door has been totally destroyed. And then about 5 seconds after like this explosion and the smoke is clearing, you hear this snapping, and on the top of the door there's this like little crane mechanism that pops up and slowly like rotates around. And bear in mind, this is about 15 seconds after the initial blast. It just drops like a pile of rocks on the area.
All right. I think we did it.
Very thorough.
Okay, so
expect
as
I'm
the
not going in
as the
first.
smoke clears, you guys are approaching.
I'll go in first with detect magic on.
I will go in beside or next to or behind our good
I'm kind
friend
of
there
just
and continue
imagining
scanning for
Cass
traps.
and Vitaly just like kind of pushing each other, like trying to detect stuff first.
No, me first.
Um,
Well, I
so
respect the detect magic, but I
I'm
gotta
I'm
watch for
just
traps too.
yeah, I'm just staying in the front in case there is detect magic stuff.
Maybe
okay.
I'll move those rocks out of the way.
lifting heavy stuff.
Do strong boy stuff.
Okay. So, sorry. Who's stepping in first?
Cass said he was, and then I'm following him, and I rolled 27 to detect trap.
Jesus.
So you get the sense that there's no other traps in here as you look around. Cass, there are a variety of magical items here. Um, you find a ring, a bunch of potions, um, and you see an entire bookcase that the whole thing, the bookcase itself, is enchanted, and standing in front of it is a tiny, kind of shy-looking imp that's just like sitting there, eyes wide, like looking at everybody.
Oh.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, a bunch.
Are you friendly? Hello. Can you understand me?
I can understand you.
Oh my god, I love him.
The Green Dragon. Is it your master, or are you guys just friends?
I prefer the term employer,
Right.
but I don't get paid.
Good news.
So, more like indentured servitude type deal?
Well, I was thinking about it as more of an internship.
Oh,
We sort of made a deal with my previous employer who did pay me, but that after they set out specific terms of the arrangement, he ate him.
oh, that sounds like you might have been trafficked, actually. Well, he is dead, so.
Oh, he's dead. Okay, good, good. That's good. Okay, well, I guess. So you guys are just gonna take all this stuff, huh?
Hey, look at Cass.
Yeah.
That is usually the plan, yes.
Yeah, seems reasonable for me.
What are you gonna do?
Uh, I don't know. I sort of was hoping to finish our array of encyclopedias. We never quite finished.
What letter did you get to?
Well, we weren't going alphabetically. We were going geographically. The plan was to go clockwise around Karsus until kind of moving towards the center, and we would kind of end in the Dalmiri Desert. So we had made one pass around, kind of along the coastal cities, and then we were on our second pass when this happened.
Are these the encyclopedias behind you?
Yes, they are. You're not thinking about smashing me and just taking them, are you?
No, not at all. I mean, I think it'd be cool to hire you.
You can do those trips by yourself, right? I mean, he has wings, right?
I guess so. Make a persuasion check.
To be 100%
20,
honest,
23.
I'm always thinking about smashing someone.
He
So
kind of looks at you and
cute.
just goes, "You know what? I can. I didn't need Erlenmeyer. I can." And he turns around, and you watch as he like holds out his hands up in like a very epic way. He's like literally like 1 foot tall. So for him, like this kind of not super big bookcase is just like massive. So he like looks up at it and does this fiendish incantation, and you watch as it folds up into like a tiny little cube with straps on it, and he puts it on his back. He just goes, "All right, I'm ready."
Damn.
Leopold, I haven't known you long. I'm happy that we were able to free you, and I wish you luck on your journeys. I hope to see you again.
Thanks much. Farewell, travelers. And he just begins walking out.
I hired that guy. Just had him walk around, tell us stuff about the world.
Well, he's going to be doing that now.
You can always message him and see if he'll show up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm sorry, couldn't help but overhear someone was talking about employment.
um,
I have not been paid in quite some time.
what's your going rates? It's just because I'm not really very familiar with this world, and it'd be kind of cool to have somebody who's just like, knows stuff
Lesser
around.
healing potion once a week.
We can do that, I think. And I look at everybody else.
Yeah.
Seems like a perfectly reasonable price.
And, one day I think we're gonna have a ship, so that would be cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's a ship. Cool, yeah. I would ask for 4 weeks up front though.
4 weeks up front. That's a lot, Leopold.
If it's a standard healing potion, I count those for 2 weeks, and if it's a greater, I count it for 3.
Okay, well, yeah, that's totally fine. I start looking around the dragon's hoard to see what I can give to Leopold.
Yeah, there are so I'm not gonna make you guys roll investigation checks here. You find a bunch of healing potions. You also find a golden flask in the area where all the healing potions were kept as well.
I grab it, open it.
You die.
I'm going to pocket a few of the greater healing potions.
Okay. So we'll say there are 2 greater healing potions. There are 5 standards and 6 lessers. Varric, you open the flask.
What's inside?
There's liquid in it.
I do a science smell.
Like a wine tasting.
Science
Yeah.
smell.
Yeah, that is the science smell. It smells kind of fragrant and herbal. It smells a lot like a healing potion, to be honest. But it's in a huge flask.
How big's huge?
It'd be like a
Ones you got at
fancy
Spencer's are
bottle
like
of
that big.
liquor. I mean, it'd be like a 750 milliliter container.
Cool.
Oh
I'll
my
hold
God.
on to it.
So it's like but it's like a quarter of the way full.
Don't we have some glasses or something to
Yeah,
identify?
we have 2 things of identify.
Let me get one.
I thought you had one. I thought you had this eyeglass.
Oh, I do
Nah,
have
it's
the
just
monocle.
it's just in the bag.
Oh.
Or no,
It's in
maybe
the
you have
bag?
it. I don't know. I don't know. Whichever you prefer.
Will you hand me the monocle?
Beep.
I look at the golden flask.
Okay. So this is a gilded flask that allows one to pour healing potions into it. and basically mix them, and then you can basically, as a bonus action, drink as much of it as you want. So you can dole out as many D4s as you've added to it.
Oh,
Make a mega potion.
so cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's always going to be D4 plus 4.
Mhm.
So you can pour as many healing potions as you want. You get the most mileage of it with smaller sips, because then you're kind of using that like plus 4 modifier the most times. But
Mhm.
obviously, if you're like in the middle of a fight or something and you need a bigger amount, you can do that too.
I look at Alara.
So it's got 2 charges in it currently. It can hold 12.
I look at Alara. Heads up, and I toss it to her.
Shit. Okay.
You can add that to your inventory, and then whenever you get healing potions, you could pour it in there if you like.
Okay.
All right.
Any weapons?
Real quick, Leopold goes, so I see you are taking a bunch of healing potions there. So are we doing business?
I look at the rest of the group. Are you guys okay if I give him 4 potions and then we just have him on retainer for like information, or
He
Um,
could screw us
that would
over,
be-
but yeah,
I mean he could, but
not a bad
a
idea.
lot of people could screw us over at this point.
That would be 2 of the would you say the standard healing potions?
Yeah, that would do
Or
it.
Yeah.
4 of the lesser. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do 2 of the standard. Seems like a better
Cool.
deal.
Okay. He happily takes his payment, and then he says, I'll just draft something up real quick. And you watch as he just like reaches into a tiny little pouch and pulls out like this quill pen and then like some reed paper and like quickly begins scribing like a little contract. And he hands it to you, Sandara. And it's basic. This contract entails that you will take on Leopold Stratocaster as your familiar.
Oh shit.
Is there anything else in it about like does anything seem sketch? Other
This
than the
is such a simple contract. It was done in like 3 seconds. That's it. All it details is that you will pay him basically a lesser healing potion a week. If you default on payment after 4 weeks, the contract is void. And fiendish collectors may come after you to get the amount owed, which would be however many healing potions he fell short. If at some point you want to end the deal, he needs 4 weeks notice.
Damn.
But doesn't he get 4 weeks up front?
He does.
So then there's nothing to collect after he leaves our employment.
Well,
so
that
there
puts you
would be
immediately
nothing to
fired.
collect once I give notice, or I don't pay him for the next 4 weeks and then start paying him.
Yeah. You can also just end it and pay him severance of 4 weeks.
Of course, severance, yes.
He doesn't
That's
have to be with you for that time.
So he gets an extra 4 weeks regardless.
It's a job, It's fine.
Hey, it's a good scam if you can get away with it.
I'm like Sundar is like in the corner reading it very, very thoroughly while everyone else is looking
He
at
will
stuff.
fight for you in combat. He is an
Leopold.
imp, so he's got some abilities. He can polymorph into any tiny creature. He can turn invisible. He can fly, and he's got a little scorpion tail.
I do have to ask. When he polymorphs, does he take the bookshelf with him?
Yes, he takes all his stuff with him. The bookshelf is filled with the encyclopedias that he and Erlenmeyer have uncovered so far. So he has kind of a lot of knowledge about various lore things.
I will sign the
Sounds
contract.
fascinating.
Okay, he rolls it up, and then you watch as he like splits it and rips like a copy of it off, and he says, "This copy's yours."
Thank you.
He rolls up the other one with little fingers, and then like just puts it in his pouch.
I'm gonna sit down on the floor. Leopold, is it okay if I call you Leo, or do you have a preference? Or
Leo's fine. Is it okay if I climb on your shoulder? And he climbs on your shoulder.
and then I just want to sit down while everyone's like looking through stuff and just start like asking questions about various parts of the world.
Okay, sounds good. They get into a really deep conversation about fascinating aspects of Karsus Folly topography. Um, let's see. Okay, let's get to business here. So, here is a list of what you find.
Just
there is
just
so
to
much
note, I've already taken 2 of the greater health potions.
you have. Who is keeping track of this stuff?
I think. I mean, I am, but I think it's going on. My...
I just wrote down that as a flask.
Okay. There is a total of 58,000 gold.
Holy shit!
Holy fuck.
Shut up.
There is a bed of gold, platinum, silver, and copper that this dragon has literally been like bedding in.
Holy fuck.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to sleep in a nice place.
So
How are we going to get it?
so Vitali is like just crouched over the gold, like with one hand over his nose, but with the other hand like touching it and like clinking the little coins.
yeah. This is. I mean, I would like to say that this is more gold than you've ever seen, but
I've seen a lot of gold,
yeah, you've seen a lot of gold.
but it is not. It's always nice.
Yeah.
It's like what 9,600 per if we're supposed to get 6 ways, give or take 100.
Someone do the calculation.
Okay.
50.
Sorry, how much was it again?
It's 58,000 divided by 6.
That is 9,666.
Oh, cool.
You find another 1,500 gold pieces worth of assorted gemstones, and 3,000 gold pieces worth of diamonds.
Oh,
diamond.
dang.
Diamonds.
Hey, let's be very smart about these diamonds, goddammit.
How much does a
Yes.
resurrection cost?
500 a resurrection.
Yeah, Rage Dead is
but
500.
Free.
Vivify is 300.
So
That's for,
everyone
like,
should
instant.
everyone should have $500 worth on
Yes.
We should
Because
split
that's
them
your
up.
guys' insurance policy.
Yeah. Like, keep that on you. Don't touch that. Hide it. Swallow it. Whatever needs to be done.
Swallow
Don't
it. Would that
swallow it.
work?
Don't swallow it. Don't
I
swallow
feel
it.
like it would
I
work.
feel like that should work.
I feel like
Freaking Faraday just threw him on the ground.
How long would it take to poop out a
I will
diamond?
also say there would have been 200 gold worth of diamonds left over from Faraday's ritual if someone wanted to pick that up too.
And he didn't care at all, did he? He just walked away.
He did.
A rich man.
homie's fucking rolling, dude. He's
So
fucking
wait, how much total in diamonds was that?
3,200?
So diamonds are worth
3,200.
a full diamond is worth 5,000 a pop.
Doesn't matter. We're using it
we
for.
got dust and stuff.
Yeah, these are like tiny. These are like smaller sharp. Like these are smaller and less perfect gems. That'd be like a full, like beautifully cut diamond.
How many diamonds did you say there were?
There's an assortment of them, so there's gonna be like 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
So everybody gets 500 in diamonds, and then there's some left over. I don't.
give those to Alara, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
how? Okay.
and then there is another 2,250 worth of various knickknacks.
What?
So these are like carved statuettes, like a golden lamp, things like that.
How much do I have in value in diamonds then on my person so I can write this down?
You have. 1 second. You have 198 plus 500.
Okay.
And then we
698.
each,
Gotcha.
and then we're splitting that cash.
So when it comes time to split the coin, Vitali will say that he's only going to take 9,000.
Well,
Because it will allow the rest of you to take 9,800, and you don't
Okay.
quibble over a coin with your crew.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll run with
How
that.
generous of you. Like,
right. Anybody else see the problem? This is a lot of coins. What are we going to do with it?
Everyone knows that coins don't weigh anything. Duh.
Spend it.
You ever played a
Yeah.
video game?
Okay. I'm talking about just a mass, like a sheer mass issue.
right.
Not even doesn't exist. That's not a problem.
All right. I
Cass,
put the
Cass,
58,000
is
gold in my
actually
pocket.
correct because you guys cannot carry
Oh.
this amount of coin.
We have
Um,
stupid gems.
Our bag's
and
full.
the bag of holding you have is full.
Get rid of those green things.
Now,
I've got 2
I will
already.
say there's still a ton of stuff because as you're looking around, you find 2 additional bags of holding.
What?
Oh, hell yeah.
Fuck.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Getting
Let's just go
great.
through everything at once.
There's so much stuff here.
Yeah.
I can open a portal right here.
You find a portable hole, which is a blanket that leads to a pocket dimension that you can store stuff in.
All
Why are we not just
right.
storing all this stuff in there?
Yeah, let's just open that and shove all the gold into it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Wait, we
Um,
have to finish.
But let's finish the
first.
list.
How many charges of identify do you have? I'm just going to assume you guys are identifying everything.
5,
I think the monocle doesn't have any limits.
Perfect. There is a glass eye amongst the gold that is filtered out that appears magical with Cass's detect magic. This is an ersatz eye. So if someone loses an eye, you can embed this artificial eye into there, and if it's removed from anyone, you can see through the tiny orb as though it's your own eye. So you can take it out and like roll it under a door, and depending on where it lands, you might be able to see something. Or you can give it to someone else, they can hold it, and you could see things.
I mean,
Gross.
I'm tempted to cut one of my eyes out right now.
Oh my goodness. Someone will
But how
definitely
much
lose
funnier
their eye.
would it be if it was the pirate that had only one eye?
Oh, there you go.
I'm not volunteering. I'm just saying.
There is a saddle that is made of brass and gold. It's called the Saddle of the Cavalier. While in the saddle, you cannot be dismounted against your will if you're conscious, and attack rolls against your mount are made at disadvantage.
Interesting.
Like for mounting like an animal?
Yep. There is a potion of heroism, which gives you 10 temporary hit points that last 1 hour. You're also under the effects of the Bless spell if you drink it.
Interesting.
There is a potion of vitality. This removes any levels of exhaustion, cures any disease or poison, and for the next 24 hours, anytime you take a short rest, you just regain all your hit dice instead.
I'd like to hand that to Alara as a resident healer.
There is a magical ring that is a ring of telekinesis that allows you to cast the telekinesis spell.
What?
Oh.
That's cool.
Well, we're gonna have to fight over that. Okay, continue.
There is a tree token. So if you're outside, you can place this little feather into the ground, and it'll turn into a tree.
Can you remove the feather?
No, no, it's just a tree.
Tree forever. Cool.
Very specifically useful.
One time use.
There is a potion of fire giant strength. It makes your strength score 25 for 1 hour.
What? I want to smash something with that.
There is a spell scroll of control weather.
Oh,
There is a potion of flying.
Always useful.
There is an oil of sharpness. This is a weapon coat that gives your weapon a +3 to attack and damage for 1 hour.
Wow.
There are the iron bands of Bolaro. So it's a rusty iron spear measuring 3 inches in diameter, weighs 1 pound. You can use an action to speak the command word and throw the spear at a huge or smaller object you can see within 60 feet of it. You make a ranged attack roll. That's Dex plus proficiency. On a hit, the target is restrained until you take a bonus action to speak the command word.
What's the
wow.
command word?
That's holy good. That's
You
so
can
good.
set the command word.
Who has the best dex?
Smoogie, probably.
Probably
Yeah.
Smoogie.
Or our newest companion.
Did you forget his name?
Doesn't matter. Keep going.
There is basically like a Mjolnir-looking hammer called a Dwarven Thrower.
Yeah? What's it do?
Yeah.
So it deals a D8. It's got a +3 to attack and damage rolls, and it has a thrown property with a range of 20 feet and a long range of 60 feet.
Does it come down to me?
On a if you make a ranged attack, it deals an extra 1d8 damage.
I'm gonna pick up the hammer. What's it called?
A Dwarven Thrower.
It's a real thing.
Might be
Yep.
on D&D Beyond, yeah.
Alright.
Then finally, there is a ring of shooting stars.
Cute
So,
sounding.
while wearing this ring in dim light or darkness, you can cast dancing light and light from the ring at will. The ring has 6 charges for other spells and regains 1d6 6-minute charges daily at dawn. You can cast Fairy Fire for 1 charge, Ball Lightning for 2 charge, and you can expend 1 to 3 charges as an action.
Bless you.
And for every charge you spend, you launch a glowing mote of light that you can see within 60 feet. Each creature within 15 feet cube originating is showered with sparks and must make 15 dexterity saving throw or 5d4 damage. That's also an item you can find on D&D Beyond.
So you got a little ranged AoE explosion.
Yeah.
As well as dancing lights and
Yeah.
lights.
This was a hell of a win, gee.
Yep.
Now
Are you
I'm
guys
glad
okay?
I can do it.
Yes. Of course, Varric.
I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised so much of this gear survived, considering how the usual method by which green dragons acquire them.
Are you guys okay if we
Quantity of death.
just send out a list of all the stuff and reconcile who grabs what between sessions
Cool with that.
versus doing all this now?
Yeah, you should just
Yeah,
slide all the money into the hole.
Yeah, we can just open up the portable hole and fit probably everything in there, I imagine.
How much of the gold would I be able to keep on my person comfortably?
So I'll say for the purposes of this, there will be like a party gold fund, and you can whatever gold you need, you can just say is on your person, and you can always exchange it for platinum once you get to a city.
Looks
What
like
specifically, like how much gold would be needed for a week of carousing in a tavern?
I mean, it depends on how you could spend any amount of gold carousing in a tavern.
I mean, your typical port tavern, where I'm not like buying rounds for everybody.
Probably like 10.
10 gold.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, I will keep 20 on my person.
Okay.
2 weeks.
Um, okay. So, with that in mind, uh, what is everyone doing?
Sundara's gonna start working on some magic stuff to get us to teleport to New Callum.
Okay.
That will be involving exchanging spell slots for sorcery points and sorcery points for spell slots, and
Sure.
then drawing some chalk on the ground, and
It looks super complicated.
yeah, there's just magic happening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take one of the new bags of holding and place my blunderbuss and ammo into it. I'm tired of carrying it around, as I've
Okay.
used it twice.
Good to know. So after a short while, Sandara lays down all her runes, beckons everyone in to step onto the teleportation sigil. Um, Leopold has not stopped talking this entire time.
Oh yes, when if Sindara stops talking with Leopold, then Vitali will start questioning him on the island. Specifically, like the locations that I know were being researched by Alexei.
Okay. I would say that would be probably a longer conversation. So, like, as you start getting into that, Sandara is prepared with a teleportation spell.
All right, and we can continue later, my friend.
I mean, he's still going. Like, he has not stopped. It's just a
Right,
matter
right.
of, like, oh shit, I need to teleport and not be left behind. So I'm not going to listen to him right now, and I'm going to step onto this teleportation.
Right.
Because he's just sitting there, just going like, and the interesting thing about that is once the Empire left and the Delmiri took over, there was actually a change in the topography itself. And then you all step onto the sigil. There's this loud crackle of lightning energy, and with that, we all end
End
up
up in the
back
void.
in New Callum. um, you have, if I recall, within New Callum, you, where did you send us?
I think it is the Sea of Swords circle
They do have a teleportation sigil, and
in the Mortal Promise. Does that
yeah,
sound right?
okay,
Okay.
yeah, sent to the Mortal Promise. Um,
Are there any
represent-
physiological effects of being teleported like this?
if you're prone to, you know, teleportation sickness, you might feel a little bit queasy.
Teleportation sickness.
Oh,
Um, with that, you all step off the teleportation platform. You're on this large stony plateau looking over the Mortal Promise. There's a little bit of activity. You see a couple familiar faces. Um, specifically close by, you see Barrelback Bill, the Minotaur with a barrel on his back, who approaches and just goes, "Oh, well, would you look at that? What a lovely sight! It's good to see old friends. Varric, come on, give us a cuddle." And he comes in for a hug.
yeah, I return uh, excitedly. Probably
Yeah.
more like feeling in it than he would have expected.
Yeah. It's like, whoa there now, sailor. Buy a guy dinner first. All right, lovely. Good, good, good. So, how's everybody doing? You all look very tired.
Well, I died, so there's that.
Oh, you died. I'm so sorry.
It was
That's awful.
pretty cool. I was riding a dragon, and then it teleported, and I fell say, 200 feet? Is that
The
about?
dragon teleported.
Yeah, right out from under me.
Hardly seems fair.
Slimy bastard.
Yeah.
Well, they finished him off, so, you know.
Oh, that's exciting. What color dragon was it?
It was green.
Oh. Well, sounds like a pretty ghastly affair. And who's this we have with you? A new face? Always welcome here. My name's Barrelback Bill.
Oh, nice to meet you, Barrelback Bill. My name is Vitaly Dragovich.
Oh, okay. Very fancy. Fancy. You must be from the north, huh?
I am from Drakmar.
Oh, exotic. Oh, very good. Very good. Making all sorts of friends. All right. Well, uh, quartermaster's getting up a big pot of broth. Probably going to be pretty bland. So if you want to stay for that, you're welcome. Otherwise, to go into town. Good to see you all. Good to see you, Varric. I'll be around. And he just kind of begins wandering off.
We still have our
Ooh.
apartment, don't we?
Yeah, the stupid rat.
If it didn't get destroyed.
Yeah, 2 questions. How's the city looking?
You'd have to kind of step to an area where you can
Okay.
see like it's interesting because it's like you're in like a completely broken ship that's like on a mountain. So there's like these portholes that look like they were maybe for giant cannons. And you can just look out of those and see the city. City looks okay. It looks like they've pretty much rebuilt everything. You don't see much sign of any prior damage. Um, uh, Leopold on your shoulder just goes, historically, New Calden's been sacked a number of times, and it seems like they've really invested in just being able to rebuild quickly as opposed to preventing anything like this from happening, which has caused a lot of political strife within the overarching merchant
Leopold,
council and how it interacts with the. Yes?
could you just be quiet for a moment?
I
Oh,
thought that was very invigorating. Thank you, Leopold.
No, it's
Uh,
great. I just, died earlier today. I've got a blistering headache.
yeah,
Oh,
of course.
that's
Of course, yeah.
totally.
Tell you what,
You
I'll
can
go
just whisper
yeah,
it to me. That's
yeah,
fine.
and yeah, I'll also just go invisible too. And he just like
Oh,
turns invisible and starts whispering things to you.
Creepy. Okay.
That seems fine.
Can I pull Alara aside?
Yeah, sure.
Down a hall something. Alara, I gotta tell you,
Yes.
I don't know how much you saw, when I was, being revived. Um, but I do now serve the Raven Queen.
That's great news.
Yeah, uh,
I
my
begged for her to spare you. I told her fate had more for you in store for you.
my son like knighted me or something. Um,
Really?
yeah, the whole sword, each shoulder, bloody boo, boopity boo. Um, but I was really wanting to get into it, right? So I was wondering if you had, and if you guys had like real armor, somewhere that I could like procure to be like, look at this Raven Queen dude.
Specific Raven Queen armor? Not. Would I know of any place like that that has any specific Raven Queen armor, or is that kind of just you can ask to have that made somewhere?
No, that's kind of like something you could customize.
Okay.
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 I don't, but we can. I'm sure we can put something very cool together for you, much like his, if you'd want.
Yeah, I'd want to do it as much as, like my sons as I could from
Absolutely.
my memory. Although I haven't really told anyone else yet, so maybe on the DL for now.
Secret safe with me. Glad to
Cool.
have you back, Eric. I really am. Again,
Thank you.
I'm sorry for being so angry at you before.
No, I was foolish. But we're on the road to atonement. Or vengeance. Depending on your point of view.
And
Alright,
I'm just
well,
glad that you
got some coin burning the money in my pocket. What do you guys say we should spend it?
I think that would be a great idea. I'd love to stay at a place that has like clean hot water and
nice comfy feather beds.
a really nice feather bed. Yes, Alara, we're on the same page here.
I meant
Mhm.
more like I'm trying to, get a little upgrade to the old armor.
Oh yeah, no, that's exciting too, but definitely not what I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, a nice bed would be nice. I mean, it's a little early to go to sleep, don't you think?
I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Look at
I'm
the sky.
guessing.
It's probably about like late afternoon right now. It's like it's just getting, you know, you got like a crimson sun peeking through the clouds. It's kind of getting like 6 p.m. ish.
Well, I'm gonna go try and find the best blacksmith here
Okay.
before they close to put an order in.
Okay. How much are you trying to spend?
I mean, on my person, I have 200 platinum, um, but I'm willing to spend more. I don't know how much it's gonna cost me.
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to make.
I'd like to get Raven Queen style armor like my son had. Maybe give me obviously I'd like to stick with plate, but maybe
Okay.
What if it?
And then,
What if
but
it? What if it? Would it be possible to get? I'd tag along with him, see if there'd be a way to get the enchantment of the Raven Queen, kind of like how my Misty Step, but cooler than Misty Step, kind of thing works.
I'd say creating the armor and enchanting it would be two separate issues. So you're just talking about putting in the armor for the armor. That's totally doable. I'd say that's probably gonna run you 3,000.
okay. So 2,000. So the 200 platinum plus 1,000 gold.
That's fine as a down payment because it'll take a while,
Okay,
a couple days.
so I'll do that.
Okay. All right. It looks like we've got some downtime. Is there anything else that people are doing?
Um,
So,
Should relax and go enjoy a feather bed and
I'm
sleep.
yeah.
I guess I found a hotel or whatever.
Have
Yeah,
I been to New Callan before?
You have. You haven't spent much time here.
Is there any place that you all would recommend?
Well,
What are
we
I mean,
you
we
own
looking
an
haven't.
for?
apartment, but it's not too welcoming.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we've never really had this much cash flow. So
Oh, we could go to the
Yeah, what was
that
that place called?
city of town of the area of the town where the Platinum Grove is. It's called the
The
Opulent
casino?
District or something, or the Opal District. It's where all the fancy things are. We could get a nice hotel there. Or tavern. Nice tavern.
sounds like a plan.
Sure.
Hmm.
Okay.
I am at your
Just
disposal.
gonna
So you all want
drag
to
our
go to
raggedy bodies
yeah,
to
you
the
want
fancy
you
part
want
of
to go to
town.
the Platinum Grove?
Mhm.
Or
Because
just
that
that area of town.
okay, because the Platinum Grove specifically is probably the nicest place to stay. It does have a casino inside of it. Um, uh, and you can also purchase membership.
Do we have to purchase membership to rent a?
You don't have to.
Don't
Now
I
there's a
still-
day pass.
Don't I have a coin?
You
Do you?
do.
Platinum chip? I
You
should still
do.
have the platinum chip because I.
Yeah, 'cause if
I
you
The
didn't use
platinum
it.
D6.
Yeah, because then members do stay for free.
How much are the rooms? A room with a meal.
Okay, easy enough.
Yeah, is there a guest policy? Can I just like these are my
Bring 5 guests.
esteemed colleagues?
We look like shit. We're
Yeah.
covered in blood, poison.
Right.
To be fair, it doesn't phase them at all.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cool.
You get the sense there's a lot of people that don't have means who kill something that they got really lucky with, steal some stuff, and then spend it all at the Platinum Grove while they're covered in the blood of the thing they just killed. And they're just like, yep. So they know that, like, so they see you guys come in looking like beat up, like you just died, and they're like, we got a couple whales here. Like, these guys just got a dragon horde, and they're gonna blow it all here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, they see you bloodied and stuff, and it doesn't phase them at all. Like they treat you like you're very high class. So what are we interested in? You see the beautiful half elf hostess approach you and just say, "Hi, are you members, or are you looking for rooms, or perhaps you'd like some chips?"
Oh, hold on. I think I
We're
actually.
looking for rooms. Right? I look at you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pull out the membership dice or chip, and if we could get a few rooms for the night, that would
Preferably
be
rooms with feather beds, maybe a hot tub.
nice rooms.
How many rooms would we like?
6
Very good.
or 3? Are we gonna
Depending
be
on the bed, yeah.
friendly or not?
Are we in a, is this a double bed situation or is it just one giant king bed?
Tell you it'll cost you 25 gold per room.
Cool.
Okay.
Done.
Just adjacent, just in case. On the same floor, preferably.
Okay. So 6?
Yes.
Okay. So someone mark that off. Who's buying?
I assume we each
I
took
don't know.
out some
Yeah,
amount of
just-
gold.
yeah,
Otherwise,
everybody.
like we're gonna open up a hole in the middle of this place. So I'll pay over. My room is free,
Yeah, yours is free.
but I'll pay for everybody else.
Okay.
Ah,
Very good.
if I'm looking
you...
at a meal,
Mhm.
I'm a very hungry lad.
Yes. How much the meals, miss?
While you're staying with us, everything's covered.
Oh, shit.
Where do I go to do the eating?
Just past the casino floor.
Wonderful.
Right this way. And she'll show you. It's essentially like a buffet type situation. As you look in the back, you can see there's a crew of like Triton chefs that are just like pumping out a bunch of food. I mean, you're so hungry, it's great.
Lobster mash.
The
That
height.
just sounds really
Oh.
good right now.
Eddie's like, this is Hilton status. Lobster mash.
Yeah.
So Vitali's going to say to the lady, I apologize for my appearance. I'd like to retire to my room and possibly get service for my apparel.
Yes. Just we'll have someone collect it shortly.
Sandar's also going to uncharacteristically not eat with the group, grab food, and go.
Okay. Very good. So is anyone else doing anything in this period of downtime, or are you guys just getting some really good R&R?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna
that
eat
sounds
and
great.
then I'm gonna go to sleep. Because I died.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if I could grab a shower, that'd be great.
Yeah, there's baths.
Yeah, I'm gonna soak for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm also going to soak my scales. I'm very itchy.
Itchy scales always a problem.
Maybe
You do everything you can, but ultimately it's not skin we're dealing with here. It's scales.
needs a little scrubbed up.
Yeah, I think we
Dry
could all use
brushing.
a bath.
I go to
Every-
sleep in my blood.
Damn.
I'm gonna take a soak in the hot tub.
Okay. With that, you're all taking a long rest. So for staying in the Platinum Grove, in the height of luxury, you all gain a D12 inspiration dice that
Wow.
lasts until you use it.
Dang.
Wow.
You can
Wow.
only have one at a time.
Okay.
But before I go to sleep,
Yeah, I think I want to do something too.
Okay.
Varric
I'm
kneels
gonna do salt.
next to his bed, clasps his hands, and says a prayer. Dear Raven Queen, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I also don't know exactly what you want me to do. Any guidance would be appreciated. Cool. Bye. And then get into bed. Varric, never a religious man.
Yeah. Give me a wisdom check, Varric.
Cool. $17.
17. You don't expect any response.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And in the following silence, your thoughts wander from the Raven Queen herself to just thoughts of what has happened so far in your journey. From the time that your son died to, your tirade of vengeance and mayhem that led you to Langston, that led you to prison, that led you to this group of people here. And you can't help but just kind of have your fingers wander towards that huge gaping hole in your chest. And the thought that, oh yeah, your family does not know who you are. And I would say, after taking that moment of introspection to reach out to the Raven Queen, these are the sort of the thoughts that you're left with as you try to drift off to sleep. Cass, you wanted to do something.
Just simply pull out the gun from my pocket, and I know it can't be identified, but I just sit with it and try to attune with it over the long rest.
Mm-hmm.
See if it's possible.
It's very possible.
Uh-oh.
As you sit with it, and concentrate on it, you find that you are able to tap into whatever this thing is. You do feel that there is something about this thing that reeks of something evil. But it seems that being taken away from whatever world it came from, that part of it seems inert. So as you look before you, what you see is just kind of a blank slate. So you don't know what this thing is or what its potential is, but it's magical and you do attune to it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and set up a little sleeping area for Leopold before I go into a trance.
Okay. Yeah. How are you setting up a sleeping area?
I think I'm just gonna take one of the. I feel like this place has lots of nice pillows and maybe like a couch. So I'm gonna take a couple of the pillows and sit them on the couch. Just like,
Okay.
how's this look, Leo? Is this comfortable or?
He looks up at you with like a kind of inquisitive look. He's like, it's okay if I'm on the couch.
Yeah, you're a sentient being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Erlenmeyer didn't let me on the couch. So
Yeah, no, that's rude. No, you're fine.
he like hops up on it and then like hops up on the pillow and does that thing where he like spins twice and then like cuddles down and then like rests his chin on his hands and then just like closes his eyes and just like rustles in.
Oh, he's just a little guy.
I want you to know he's completely naked. He has no genitals and he's got a tiny little humanoid butt.
Oh my gosh, so cute. We all have to. This is great.
Art of him win.
Oh God, no. Okay. All right. You doing anything else, Sundara?
No, just kind of going to go into a trance and be open to see if Solinar comes into the dreams.
Okay.
I'll just say, hey guys, I might have to dip. I'm heading out to dinner with the little brother. He's bugging the hell out of me. So
Yeah.
I will see you guys later, man. I'm glad that you survived, Varric, again. We're getting you fucking loaded dice for your death saves. Right.
He already has them,
I'll
just
see
in
you.
the negative.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
All right.
I'll see you guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay. Sundar, you're going into a trance.
Yes.
Okay. You trance on your own for a while. And where I would imagine this is almost like lucid dreaming. So where do you take yourself?
I think she always starts off her trances just at home in Valendry, like Valendry proper. But this time she's going to kind of take the same path that she took when she first left Valendry and kind of find her way to Solinor's workshop.
Okay. You find yourself in his workshop. Brass contraptions everywhere, things kind of suspended by like heavy mechanical parts suspended by chains, kind of runic sigils everywhere, and then wide open spaces where one could kind of practice with new spells and things like that. And after a short while, you just feel this. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
I was going to say, after a short while, you kind of feel this presence enter the dream, and you hear a door close kind of down the hall and footsteps approach as you see the kind of veiled form of Solinar.
I think I'm going to go and like sit in the study and kind of like try and almost recreate how we used to just hang out like in the evenings.
Okay. He would follow you to the study, and then in this dream you just see there's just like a bottle of wine apparated that he kind of pours you a glass, pours himself a glass, but doesn't drink, and then just sits down with you. Doesn't say anything.
Can I drink? Does it like is it real enough to like actually
I mean,
feel like I'm eating?
you. So it's it's weird because you feel like you started off in a trance, and then something kind of took over where this became much more real. So you get the sense that you were targeted by the dream spell.
Okay. So she sits down and says, "It's good to see you again, Saul. It's been a while."
Yes. I felt like our last interaction ended abruptly.
Well, you did say some things that were pretty surprising. I feel like this whole time I've had a lot of strong feelings about what I thought you did, but I think I'm seeing how you might have been right about some things. And how, I mean, everything so far has just made me a stronger magician.
That was my hope, and I fear that in trying to get you to reach your potential, that perhaps things got out of hand.
I need to keep getting stronger. And I
When you
think
say that, his head was he's been kind of have like this passive and submissive pose. When you say that, his shoulders straighten and he looks up. He's still wearing like the clockwork mask that he usually does when he's working.
I feel like the only way for that to happen is I need to, I mean, I have to keep working with you. You've taught me everything I know thus far. And you've been the only person who's shown me that my true potential.
Are you ready to come back?
I can't come back yet. And I have to tell you, I have a warning for you. I know that you and Faraday once worked together, but he is coming for you.
What do you mean?
He is trying to rebuild the inevitable, and he has been collecting pieces of it. Most recently, he unfortunately acquired Oswald's piece from us, and he says he has a few other pieces. He said that without Oswald's piece, he thought he might be able to take yours. But he said with it, he would have a better chance. And he has it now.
I highly doubt that he's acquired other pieces. And I highly doubt that he's trying to bring back the inevitable.
Why would he be collecting the pieces then? He said.
The inevitable had access to certain parts of Karsus that we were discovering but could never get into. There's a few religious groups and academics believe that Karsus is literally the body of the dead god, the god of magic.
Mm-hmm.
Within the land, deep underground, one could access her heart. And if they did that, the implications are limitless. One could raise the god itself. One could potentially even take on her domain. or resurrect the dead god.
And so you think Faraday wants to get to the heart?
If he's showed his hand that he's attempting to collect these artifacts, that's my best guess.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. He's doing magic beyond what the weave allows. He's casting spells like the All Mage and ripping spells from people's minds and books.
Faraday always had a certain way with people. He comes off as trustworthy and genuine, but he's not to be trusted. Like many of his ancestors, he's got a lust for power. And he will get rid of anyone in his way. Thank you for this warning. I think that perhaps you should leave this part to me, because I don't want you getting involved in any of this business. You're not the only ones, and Faraday certainly isn't the only one seeking the heart of Karsus.
I have a request. I know that we'll probably live, well, you've already lived past so many people, and that the people that I'm with now might not matter in hundreds of years, but my sister, Elowen, is with Faraday, and if he's coming for you, I think she will be with him. And I know that it might not matter to you, but I can't have her die.
I won't harm your sister.
Thank you.
Is that what you wanted to talk about?
Mostly.
Okay.
You know, I do have one other question. I recently blew up your ship.
I know.
Was wondering if you've seen it around.
Gunnar brought it. And I repaired it.
Would you be strongly opposed if, for some reason, we encountered Gunnar and I tried to kill him?
Gunnar is a rabid dog with a violent taste. It's been a long time since I've called him a friend. He's always been cruel, and he's become more so since he broke his oath to Ludwiger. The only reason I work with him is because it was beneficial on my part. He provided resources that allow me to continue my work.
Sort of resources.
Gold, mostly. Some scouting information. And tincture.
See. Better at this, at magic, at my powers. And I think right now I've been learning best by being in situations where it's life or death, unfortunately.
That's the way that I learned.
And I think once I'm a little more capable, I wouldn't feel like a I wouldn't feel so embarrassed coming back.
You should never feel embarrassed. It
Well,
was my destiny and your ancestors' destiny to bring order to the world. And that was waylaid when Karsus did what he did. And when you're ready, I think you and I could fix what he broke.
thanks, Saul. It's been good to see you. Be safe.
He just gets up and walks out of the study, leaving you to complete your trance.
I will stay and finish.
Okay. You are still under the dream spell. So as you're sitting in the study, the walls are going to slowly fade away, and the floor is slowly going to fade away, and you find yourself just on a wooden chair with a portion of the table in front of you with your glass of wine, with the bottle that's been left for you, as you are just soaring through the air, just scouting over all of Karsus right now. So he kind of takes you along the coast on the west, brings you up through the northern coast to look over Koza, and you feel like the chill of the air as you're soaring through the frigid north. As it happens, there's like a blanket that apparates around you and just like wraps you up to make it more tolerable. He brings you southeast through the Dalmiri Desert, over the mountains, and then through the jungle pass over towards the Serpent Lord Shrine. Here, you see a technicolor of lights that are shooting up into the sky, and he brings you down through the jungle, down through the earth, down through the underground, into a series of caves, tunnels, kind of dilapidated ruins that run through the guts of Karsus. And he stops at a sealed door that's made of white marble that does not match any of the other architecture. And as the dream comes to a close, you get a vision of Solinor standing at the door, looking over, and you see, coming from two different directions, Faraday, and coming from the other direction, a purple-skinned tiefling who you do not recognize. But you see that she approaches with purpose in her eyes, and with that, the dream ends. And that's where we'll end our session.
That felt like that ride at California Adventures where you're like flying and they're like misting your face. That was
Pretty much.
awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. All right.
Is it
Well,
Malice?
Is it what?
What Cass picked up,
Yeah.
it is.
Nice.
Yeah, making everything come full circle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody.
But it does nothing.
Thank you. It does do things.
Oh, I thought it actually did nothing.
Evil things.
And then I'd have to like do shit.
Well, it doesn't say much, but when you look at it, it does an additional 2d6 force damage. It's already in your character sheet.
I didn't realize that. Alright, cool.